What's up, everyone? How are you doing? We're back for what you know, what it is. Chat and Draw, another episode in the building. Hope your weekend was great. Mine was pretty good. A little bit too quick, man. The weekend went really, really fast. I'm a little tired. Well, not so much. Sunday, I got some rest. I've been doing a lot of drawing, guys and gals. I've been doing a lot of drawing between the Marvel Upper Deck cards, Hot Shot, commission work, secret projects, all the chat and draw stuff. I think my body literally told me, yeah, you're going to stop. Like after 3 days of consecutive up to 3 o'clock in the mornings, I had a headache and my body just said, yeah, you need to go just lay down, buddy. Eat something and lay down. Got up on Sunday, felt refreshed, did some cleaning with the kids, did a nice little episode of Dear Creative. And now here I am, reborn for Chat and Draw today. But you're telling me all this stuff, dude. And I'm like, I don't even know who you are. Who are you? Who are you? What do you do? That's a great question. Let me answer it. Because I am the publisher of Short Fuse Media Group, founder of Freestyle Comics, one half of the good, the bad, and the nerdy, the most enthusiastic person in comics, aka going by the alias of Super Mad Brother, Mike Watson, your host today and every day on Chat and Draw whenever we have it. So that's who I am. What is Chat and Draw? Chat and Draw is a little show that has been a hit on the social medias. As I sit down with another creator, I draw their character, and we chat about it. I ask them questions, they ask me questions. Bada bing, bada boom. Every once in a while, I do a fan episode where I sit with a fan and we'll draw their character and discuss why they love that character so much. So that's what the premise of the show is. And I've got an awesome guest here. Wicked cool model, wicked dope cosplayer, and comic book creator here, multitasking in this world of everything. We're going to bring out...
Here comes a new challenger!
Cara Nicole, how you doing?
Hey, how's everyone doing today?
I think we're all pretty good. We're excited to be here today. We're going to be drawing up some fantastic stuff. You gave me a lot of reference. So if I had enough time, I'd try to get in there early and try to work something out already. And you put me in a pickle because I drew up a couple sketches. I don't know which one to go with yet. I don't know which one I'm going to go with yet. We're going to play it by ear. But while we're here right now with you on the show, why don't you tell everybody about you, what you have going on, and what character we're going to be drawing?
Okay, so I have a lot going on all the time. Alfred Trujillo and I created a character back in 2012, and she's called Fire Bitch. That's right, Fire Bitch. And this is the story of a superhero by accident. She's an Instagram model, social media diva who accidentally gets sucked into a vortex, thrown onto an alien planet, and given superpowers. And most importantly, fire powers. So, Fire Bitch. There you go. I also am a cosplayer. I've been cosplaying since 2010, and I have more cosplay covers than any other cosplayer in the world ever, as far as I know. So I always challenge you to find someone who has done more cosplay covers than me. I love working with indie creators and cosplaying their characters. So I always enjoy doing that. If you have a book, hit me up. I've done Vampirella for Dynamite. I've done Roxy for Totally Rad Comics. I've done Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassins through 5 books, I want to say. Changeling, my own stuff, and I have my own line of cosplay books where I've got a trilogy of 3 photo books, that are kind of like artist sketchbooks where you get to see like behind the scenes stuff and images of all the things that I've done, as well as some stories and articles and jokes and Q&As and things like that. And my new book that is that just finished Kickstarter and currently in secondary crowdfunding, second chance through Indiegogo, is Confessions of a Cosplay Diva. So that is a pinup / confessional. So you got your pinups, and then you also have your confessions behind the scenes. This is what it's really like. These are some things that have gone on in the world of professional cosplay, and so on and so forth. I've also been the model for the Amara Tandris, as well as the Amara Soul of the Accord, Magic the Gathering cards, and I ran for House of Representatives in 2016. So it's kind of a mouthful, and that's kind of where I've done and where I've been and where I'm going.
Wow, that was a lot. You were not kidding at all. So what I just popped up here, guys and gals, is the link where you can purchase her book at. So go ahead and click on that. It's also in the comments on Facebook and on our Twitch page as well. So if you're a first-time viewer on Twitch or Facebook, please give me a follow. I'm doing stuff like this all of the time. We'll pop those links up from time to time again. I want to go ahead. There they go. I need to give a shout out to my Patreon followers right now because they're awesome. Shout out to Andrew Duggan, Haley Dennis, Bradley Arney, Tom Kelly, and Unlikely Hero Studios, who will be on my show later on tonight because we're doing a double hitter tonight. Thank you to all of them for my Patreon support because I wouldn't have a Patreon without them. And I got some mad work to do for them this week. All right, so we're going to deep dive in here. We got your link up. All right, let's get this out the way because we can get it to pop up later on. If you got any questions, comments, anything you want to ask this woman, please put them in there so we can get this conversation going. I got some startup ones, and I've decided which one we're going with. We're going to go with this one. We're going to go with this one here. All right, I'm going to tighten that up. Give me another one. All right, so we're going to get it started. Yes, Haley, definitely a lot. Daniel said, hi, guys. What's up? Chris, what's up? What's up, J-Man? Good to have you all in the building. Again, any questions or anything you want to ask, go right ahead. Any comments or concerns, shoot them out. So let's get this started. What made you even want to start, Cara? What even made you get into any of the number of things? Like, what was the trigger?
It was an accident.
What?
I found a cosplay group that was looking for people, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like fun. And it just kind of snowballed, and I ended up doing all kinds of cosplay, and I worked for Marvel Comics at San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay.
And then I got hired by Big City Comics, and I did some work with them, and I still do some work with them from time to time. And I just had last year at San Diego Comic-Con, they did a cosplay cover for their book Jolly Jane. So I did that. And it just, over the years, it just kind of, I met Mark Winters, who was the artist for the Magic the Gathering cards, and some of them. And he says, hey, can you be a blonde? And I'm like, actually. So he brought me on to do the Amara Tandris. And then when they changed her character and she evolved a bit a few years later, they hit me up again. And so in 2012, Alfred Trujillo was like, hey, why don't you put out your own book? And he designed it sketchbook style.
Okay.
So it's just like an artist sketchbook, comic book sized. And it was 22 pages. And I took it to Baltimore Comic-Con. Because back then, in 2012, professional cosplay like really wasn't a thing.
Right, right, okay.
You were like a booth girl, or maybe you had a couple of prints and an artist who would like have you at their table or whatever. And so I would do that. But he was like, well, get your own table. So I'm like, okay. And I had my little not even filled portfolio full of prints. And I had my first book and, you know, comic book sized and everything. And it was just, I can actually show you. This is the re-release. I don't have the original, but let me see if I can find a place for it. There we go. So this is the re-release that we Indiegogo'd. And I added some stuff to this, but you can see like some of the pages that we did. It was very simple, and you know, things that we've done. Like here's a flyer for a concert that I did, and you know, people I met at shows, and just different things, different companies I worked with, and we had a little book out, and people could buy these books, and it just kind of snowballed. And then we crowdfunded issue 2, and then we crowdfunded issue 3, and then we crowdfunded the re-release, and people started saying, hey, do a calendar. So I started doing calendars, and it's just kind of kept going in that direction. I put out my first comic in 2012 with my buddy Coop Bolton, and it was an ash can. You know, we've all put out our little ash can, and it was called Nixed, and it was the story of a cowgirl who fights demons.
A cowgirl who fights demons?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, that's kind of where it started. And then I started getting picked up by other creators to do some writing. And I started doing a little bit of that. And then Alfred and I just started talking about stuff, and he just sketches all the time. And
Right.
he came up with this girl with this fire hair and all this stuff. And I came up with this whole backstory for her about her being like this insta hoe. And she gets these powers, and I don't even remember all the details, but it's been a work in progress for many, many years. And then finally we just like, we're going to pull the trigger on this. And there's been a few people that are like, Fire Bitch, that's a stupid name. It's like, well, it's done pretty well. You know, so
I did get you sent me the first issue to read and check out. I didn't notice as you guys got more comfortable in the book, the artwork got stronger and stronger. The further I got into it, the more complicated the designs got with the page layouts and things like this. Like things got punched up. It was literally like, oh, okay, da 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 da. She is, all into social media. She's all into herself or whatnot. But then, you guys flip it like you said. She gets snatched up in the portal. I like how old dude died. I thought that was pretty cool. And it was like really, it was meant for him, but she ends up getting the powers and whatnot.
Yes, you got that. Some people didn't understand that.
You literally say it.
Yeah, but they forget. And there was quite a few Easter eggs. So I'm curious to know, like, what you thought about the story.
I thought it reads like a movie. So I immediately got it, popped up like action. I like the action of it. I love the suddenness of it because you're thrown into it. But you guys give enough information. Well, I felt that you gave enough information where I wasn't lost. Like I got everything that was going on. And with, it had that kind of like classic action thriller ending where you're like, oh, this is about to get serious. So give me some more or whatnot.
Well, and you got the clothes changing montage, right? Where she's coming up with an outfit.
And I thought that was nice too, how you guys did that. And it really was like a play on other movies or TV shows that have done that to really, really play with the jankiness of how terrible costumes can be. But I was like, as I knew, I was like, yeah, so that's cool. It fit with her character. The way that you set her up for her to be or whatnot. Yeah, none of those costumes were going to work for her. Like at all. No logos or anything. It had to be phone ready for me to take pictures, selfies. I've got to just look awesome in it.
Yeah. I'm glad that you picked up on that. Some people just like read so fast, and, there's lots of little Easter eggs. And one of the things that I didn't send you, and I didn't think about it until now, we have an unofficial soundtrack that goes with this book. So we actually have all of the songs page by page that I felt would go with the story. Alfred helped a little bit, but that was more of I'm like, no, I want this and I want that. And so we came up with this, this playlist that you can go to Spotify and you can listen to, and you can see how it goes with the story. And there's music from many different genres and many different eras that go along with that. You caught a lot of the 80s going on with her sidekick.
Yeah. So that was cool too, because I didn't expect that to happen. Then at the end of like, oh, okay, well that makes sense because she was up there the whole time. Like since she came onto the planet helping her, so that makes sense that she would just tag along with it.
Oh yeah, well, and she had to learn. So she kind of has that Bumblebee thing. You know how Bumblebee like talks through the radio?
Okay.
In Transformers?
Yeah.
So that's how Taco kind of learned to speak, was through our movies and our music. So that's why she says a lot of things that sound very familiar, because they come from They come from our movies and they come from our music.
Okay.
Now, if you recall, there was a section where she actually talks about the listen to Grady's 80s on on Sunday at 8 p.m. on whatever the channel was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually my friend Grady, who does Grady's 80s in Sierra Vista, Arizona, and that's on his Facebook page. So that actually is a real radio station, and it is a real show.
Okay. So you got lots of little shout outs in there.
Oh, we got so many shout outs in there. So many things.
So, unless I'm missing something, what was the exact trigger? Like, all right, actually, I want to back up.
Okay.
So, you started doing stuff just on a whim. Someone like you got into the cosplay thing accidentally.
Yes.
Then you've done stuff for Marvel. Then you got released your own book, your own art book with your stuff in it. And then so how do we get from doing all that stuff when you're like, I'm just gonna make like why did we need you to make a comic book character? What triggered in your head? It's like I gotta make this happen. This is the next step. Like, what's that like for you?
Man, I don't even know. It was just kind of like stumbling upon it. Like I said, I put out my Ashcan in 2012. And
Okay.
I was really enjoying that. And we were supposed to keep going. And then he got sidetracked and, got married and had a baby and did all that. And I started working more with Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
And we just talk about stories all the time. We have ideas and we're like, let's do this. I am one of those people, like when I ran for office, it was like, hey, let's just put my name on the ballot. Okay. And then suddenly it's a full-blown campaign.
Okay.
I act and speak before I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, come on, we're going to do this. We're going to make this happen. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. And I had a lot of my own insecurities about it. So I used those insecurities to put into the book. So if you recall that section where all those people on social media are saying mean things to her,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of those are taken from things that happened to me and things that
Really?
were said about me, just cruel things. And so I'm like, let's give a voice to that, to girls that are online and how people treat them.
Okay.
So it just, I don't really know. It was kind of, I mean, I'm married to a comic book artist and a comic book creator, and it just seemed fitting. And so we're just like, let's just do this, and we're just going to do it.
Mm-hmm. I love your excitement when you talk about it. That's really dope. So, with the things where people were saying mean things about you, how can you talk on how that had the impact it had on you? Like, did it slow you down? Did you have a moment of pause and then you had to realize what was happening and push through that? Like, how was that?
It was interesting because it all happened while I was in the middle of something. I mean, I've been working nonstop. This is my full-time job. It's not like I go to work at Starbucks every day and then just get to cosplay when it's cute and fun. Like this is this is how I live. This is my world. It's what I love. It's, my everyday. So it hurt that people would say things about me that were very untrue.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea that someone could just post a blatant lie online and have it seem credible.
Yeah.
Versus the actual work that I have done over the years. Like imagine that, imagine if, you put out all of this wonderful work, you put out all of these cards, you do so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then one day somebody says that it's not true and, just says horrible things about you. And that has more value than the work that you did. Because I've been doing legislative work for years, on family rights and all these different things to try to help people. So for someone to come out and say things against what I've done was just devastating.
Okay.
But I couldn't stop working. I had no downtime to process it. You know what I mean? And you can't acknowledge it because the minute you go and say that's not true because of this, that, and the other, it just fuels the fire. So I just had to try to let it die on its own.
Okay. So the cosplay thing, what is the most satisfying thing about cosplay and the most annoying thing about it for you.
The most satisfying thing is when a little kid comes up to you and they're like, "Mommy, it's Wonder Woman." And you're like, I love you. I just want to hug you so much. Which no touching, hands off right now. But, just that. These kids and the fans, they see their character that they love. They don't see your back fat coming out of your corset, that zit you might have gotten on your nose. They don't see every little insecurity that we do. When we look in the mirror in our costume, we tear ourselves down and pick ourselves apart, and it's not good. We shouldn't be doing that, because when you go out, all they see is Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Harley Quinn, and that's it. And that just amazes me, and I love it so much. And the most annoying thing, I talk about it in my new book, but it's when you have to go to the bathroom and you're at a con and you're stuck in your costume, and the closer you get, the more you have to pee. And people are like, "Can I get a picture?" And you're like, "Sure, let's take a picture." And then you get a little closer. "Can I get a picture?" "Uh-huh." And then you get a little closer. "Can I get a picture?" "Okay." And then you get a little closer. "Can I get a picture?" "No." I just can't anymore.
All right. J-Man said, question, is there a character you want to cosplay as but never have yet? And have you had difficulty testing certain ones and you might have scrapped the idea?
So starting with the end of that, scrapping the idea, I did try Tornado from One Punch Man, and I completely trashed that costume. I'd still like to do her, but she's not on my I have to do list. It was a fun idea. If I can do it, I can do it, cool. But otherwise, not too worried about it. But the one that I'm really, really wanting to do, that I am in the process of still trying to make happen, is 7 of 9 from Star Trek Voyager.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see you as a good 7 of 9.
Thank you. So I love her, and she's been on my to-do list for many, many years. I've done like different modifications. Like I've done her in the red dress from the original series. I've done her in a few different things, but I want to do the silver suit.
Okay. So have you seen Picard yet?
I've seen some of it, and I am working on the new outfit as well.
That's what I was asking. That's what I was wondering, because she looks really dope in that new version.
Oh, she does. And I have the jacket, and it's one of those that it'll be a great winter costume. And it'll be a great like Friday or Sunday afternoon, like an easier my feet hurt now costume.
Okay. So there's So there's actually a science to this. There's a science to the comfort and the weather and the days or whatnot. What's the oh wait, I think we got J-Man. So you actually got a couple of your people that follow you. Mark Holmes says, "Hi, Cara." He got the book at Baltimore in 2012.
Yep.
He says he also always loved the suiting up scene. We really dig that one. David says, "Nice work, guys." Steven says, "What's up? What up?" Lewis says, "Hey, everybody." And Dan says, "Hi," as well. John Scooter Robinson, "What's up, man?" William Doctor says, "Hi." J-Man says, "Cara, have you ever got bad criticism from fans? I happen to follow a cosplayer named K-Bear, and she is very talented, not just in cosplay, but she's an amazing artist, and I enjoy her artwork. But she has had some people really to really badly criticize her cosplay. She's African American, and there were some terrible things said because of her skin color when she dressed as a white or Asian character, which I find disgusting and wrong. Out of them, the people I felt bad for her really hurt her feelings."
So, Jay, I get it, and yeah, that happens to all of us. Like for example, there was a picture that I posted where it was an implied nude. Like I'm all covered up, but you could see like the side of my body. And he says, "Hey, you got a lot of great attributes, but your body's not one of them." I'm like, well, thanks. You could have just kept your mouth shut, go back to kindergarten and learn to shut the hell up. I'm so sorry about K-Bear. That's terrible. No one should ever do that. My friend Jay Justice has had some of those issues as well. And she does a great Power Girl. and she's African American, but I don't care. She looks awesome. And I think that you should just, Kay just needs to cosplay whatever she wants to cosplay. Don't listen to the haters. They have nothing better to do than to pick on other people. And I see that kind of thing a lot where, I'm sure you get it. We all get it. Where you post something or you say something and people think that they got to chime in. Just shut the hell up, But it is hard.
Yeah, these internet streets go hard.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see here. 7 to 9 was popped in my head even before you answered it. So William was already thinking that you should play 709 already. So he was on the same page as you.
Now, can I ask a question?
Yes.
What program are you using to draw this?
I am using Procreate on the iPad.
Ah, okay. I was like, yeah, because you're busting it out real quick, but I didn't recognize this program.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been working with this for almost 2 years now. And it is a program. Procreate is a program that's really given a run to all the extra expensive programs because the full suite of this only costs $13.
Oh, wow.
And I am literally making an entire comic book when I work on this in here. There's a lot of free downloads for it or whatnot, a lot of tutorials on it. And it is, out of my experience, is the closest thing I've had to drawing on paper digitally.
Mark says Procreate.
Oh, yeah. Haters are the best motivators, as I always say. Yeah, they are, man. Yeah, they are. I think people say things because they want attention and they want to be included in some form or way.
Yes, I agree.
I am a big cosplay fan. I love all types of cosplay. And I appreciate and respect how much work goes into doing it. So my hats go off to you because it's something that I definitely do not have the tools and ability to do where I'm at right now. And I wish I did because you guys are making some killer costumes out there.
Oh, yeah. There's so many cosplayers out there that I just can't even compare to. I watch their work and, these people take like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
EVA Foam is those floor mats that, they're at the gym or, those little puzzle piece guys. And they'll turn them into these huge costumes. And it's funny because Warbler was the big thing for a while. But people realized it was too heavy. Mm-hmm. And it was very expensive and very bulky. So they started going back to the EVA Foam because it's easy to work with. It's cheap. If you mess it up, you throw it out and you get a new one. It's not that big of a deal. And it's so lightweight that you can make these huge suits of armor out of them. And you can add more. And there's even clay that is from EVA Foam now. So you can do like small little details, just insane type stuff. Happy birthday, J-Man.
Happy birthday, J-Man. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I hope if any potential cosplayers are watching, I hope you're listening. That's like one hell of a tip that you're being put onto right there.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I talk a lot to cosplayers that are up and coming in my new book, Confessions of a Cosplay Diva, because I want them to know these things. I want them to understand what it's like behind the scenes. And so I talk about all that kind of stuff. I talk about how to travel when you're a cosplayer. I talk about being a guest versus not being a guest and, different safety aspects and just the different things like that, because I do have experience and I do want to share that with people and let people know, hey, you're not alone. You're not the only one that's been told, hey, I'll rape you. You're not the only one that's been told, hey, I'll kill you, or gotten a phone call in the middle of the night. So
that's crazy.
It is. And I've gotten those. I've gotten a phone call at 2:00 in the morning and I got, and this guy was like, hey, I bought one of your digital packs. And I'm like, it's
at 2:00 in the morning?
Yeah, it was 2:00 in the morning. And I just hung up because I don't even really remember the phone call. It was 2 a.m. I was asleep. And when I get a call at 2 a.m., I'm answering it because it's like, is somebody in jail? Is someone in the hospital? Is someone hurt? So, you just never know. And
right.
So people will get a hold of these things. I talk about how to work on your brand and set those kinds of things up. And I try to make it fun. I didn't keep it like super serious and hardcore. I always throw some jokes in there because I do stand-up comedy as well.
Woman,
So
what don't you do? All right, hold up. What don't you do?
I don't draw.
All right, so Brandy. Now I've noticed you even like so you were on my boy Henri show. Super love for Henri. And I noticed you before then. I've seen you pop up in my timeline on Facebook, on Twitter, and things like that. And I think you definitely have a handle on your branding. How how difficult was that for you to get a hand on?
So for me, it was pretty easy because I didn't change my name. And that's the first thing I tell everybody is have the same name everywhere. Your Twitch name should be your Facebook name, should be your Twitter name, should be your Insta name, should be your Snapchat name, and your Patreon name. And for the love of anybody, do not use an underscore. They always use the underscore. And I really don't like those. And they say, well, why not? And I'll tell you why. Because everybody uses this. And when you're using this, you don't have the keyboard in front of you. You got to use the phone keyboard. And you have to go into a different setting to find the underscore. And if you make it complicated for people to find you, a lot of times they're going to get annoyed and they're going to give up. Don't give people the opportunity to give up on you. So
That
make
makes
it
sense.
very, very easy. Like, I don't want to remember, like, okay, well, let's see. Your AZ Power Girl over here, and your Cara underscore Nicole over there, and your Cara Nicole one word over here, and your AZPG183 over there. You know what I mean? Make it very easy. My email address, azpowergirl@gmail.com. Super easy. So you can find me as AZ Power Girl everywhere.
That makes sense. That actually sounds like really good advice. That's what I'm in the middle of right now. So I accidentally discovered what the name should be for me. So I've had everything as Mike Watson, but I've been also clambering around to the hilltops and the mountaintops. Whoever listens, I'm the most enthusiastic person in comics, and my brother Victor said the most enthusiastic person in comics, huh? So that means you're the most epic. And he was like EPIC. I was like, mother, oh, you're right. And so now I'm in that process of switching my name over to everything to be most epic art or whatnot. But
Yeah.
Facebook is taking forever to respond to me to change my page. So definitely agree with you about keeping your name the same on everything.
Yep, that's very, very important. I also let people know, and I do talk about that a lot in the book too, as well. You know, don't have personal things out there. Like, this is not the time to have an email address that's, you know, mommy of 7 kitten faces at AOL.com. Like, don't have it be all long and weird, you know, Satan lover 285. You know, don't make it weird, complicated, and don't let people judge you in the wrong way based
Mm-hmm.
on how you brand yourself, because you will be held to that forever. And I tell cosplayers, don't put cosplay in your name. You know,
Really?
yes, because what if you decide, like I do, I create comic books and I color. I'm a colorist, and I'm a stand-up comedian, and it's kind of still not really fully released yet, but we're putting out some new music as well. So I don't want to be pigeonholed into cosplay, because if I can get booked at a show doing comedy, I want to be able to get those comedy fans as well, you know? So you
Yeah.
want to keep yourself open. And if people see cosplay, they might just be like, "Oh, I was going to hire you for this modeling job for fitness wear, but you only do cosplay," because they will assume that you only do
You
cosplay.
cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Nice points. Nice points here. So how long have you been in the game?
So I started in 2010 in my little charity group. And then in 2011, I started doing conventions and that sort of thing. That's when I worked for Marvel. That was my first San Diego Comic Con.
All right. So can you because we keep coming back to it. Can you give us a little bit of details of how this exactly worked? You popping up and working for Marvel, and everything that entailed with that, or
Oh, it
summary
was
of it?
real stupid. Yeah, I did Phoenix Comic Con, right? And people are
Hmm.
like, "Oh, can I find you on Facebook?" And I'm thinking, why are you asking me this? It was the oddest thing. I've always been this total like nerd girl, that if someone was talking to me, it was usually because they were setting me up to be mean. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, like when I was in high school, there was a guy that was like, "Hey, you want to go to prom with me?" And then he's like, "My number is 1-800-EAT-SHIT." And I'm like, what did I do to you? I don't even know you. And so like that was just to kind of give you a glimpse of
Right.
So I'm like, why are these people wanting to talk to me? And I was very sketchy about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I opened up a Facebook page because I'm like, well, I cosplay as Power Girl. I'm in Arizona. And they wouldn't let me just do Power Girl. So I'm like, all right, I'll be AZ Power Girl. And I was very distant. And people were nice to me. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. I have like nice people that are talking to me and not being cruel. So this is great. And then, hey, are you going to go to San Diego? And I'm like, I don't know. And I couldn't afford to go to San Diego. So I looked for a job and I went to Craigslist. And I went to Craigslist and I started looking up jobs and I got hired by Archie. And then Marvel was like, hey, we want you to work with us. So I feel bad. Sorry, Archie. Sorry, but I took the Marvel gig. And, you know, all they provided was a Party City type costume. Just sad. But do you remember when Captain America first came out and they had those iPhone cases with the Captain America shield on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my job, to go and get selfies with people and give these out. So that's what I did. And I worked for them. And, you know, I didn't have any money at the time. So I was paid, you know, minimally, but fairly. And it's expensive to stay someplace in San Diego. And I found someone renting out sleeping space in her storefront down at the far end of Gaslamp. So I literally stayed in a storefront for San Diego Comic-Con in 2011 while working for Marvel.
And that's how it all got started for you.
Well, it all got started at Phoenix Comic-Con, you know, that I was talking about before that, and I won Geek Prom Queen.
So, Geek Prom Queen.
Geek Prom Queen, yes. I was Geek Prom Queen. And that was really exciting. So my friend of mine was like, hey, let's go join this. And we just got in line. And that's what you did. You got in line. And she's like, you won. I'm like, no, I didn't. That's stupid. And I won. I was like, I won. Okay. And so that's kind of how that got started. And people started interviewing me, and it just snowballed. Like I said, I met Mark Winters. He wanted to use me on the Magic card. So no, I don't have royalties. I don't get any of that, but it is clearly me. Some people are like, hey, that looks like Cara. I'm like, that's because that is Cara. So, and I just started doing events and going places with people. And I worked with Crusadel Comics. There's a book called Nightingale that Jessica Negri was actually working on, and she couldn't make all the events. So the creator and I talked to her, and I kind of became her understudy, and I would do the things that she couldn't do.
Okay.
And so I've done that, and I actually do some coloring and some editing for them now that, you know, some time has passed. But yeah, so it just kind of snowballed. And I said I started working with Alfred Trujillo, and he was like, you know, hey, you're going to start coloring now. And I'm like, I am? Okay. So I color now.
Oh, don't you love those type of friends?
Right? I do. I ended up marrying him. It's like, okay, well, you're going to teach me what you can. And he did. And, you know, I've just rolled with it. And now I do, you know, all kinds of stuff. Like I said, we talk about stories, and we're like, we're going to put this out. And I think I act before I think.
So do you think that has served you in the long run of things, served you the best?
Yes.
Okay.
Because what happens is the concern about what I just did becomes future Cara's problem.
Future Cara's problem.
It's future Cara's problem.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. I love that right there. You know what? That's gonna be future Cara's problem. Let's go. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Now, Jay asks a good question. Have
Go
I ever
ahead.
had issues with other cosplayers? No, because other cosplayers aren't my business. And I think that everyone should be that way. I am a huge supporter of all cosplayers. And I don't care if that means you're pulling something out of your closet, you're making everything from scratch, you're shearing the sheep and looming the wool. I don't care. If you want to cosplay, then cosplay. Because remember, the big word in cosplay is play. It's about having fun and
Mm.
playing and enjoying yourself. So I really don't have issues with other cosplayers other than, what you can find in Fire Bitch. But for the most part, no, because they do their thing, I do my thing, and I stay away from cause drama. I don't have time for that, and I don't have the emotional fortitude to deal with it.
I think we got another question here. He says, "Has anyone used your image without your permission?" From Mark Holmes.
Oh, all the time. All the time. Most people are pretty good about it, and they'll be like, "Hey, I drew this of you," and they'll like throw me one. I did have a case where the guy across from me at a convention had clearly taken my image, and it wasn't just like something that was put up on Facebook. Like, this was my print. It's on my wall and on his wall.
Wow.
And it almost looked like he traced it too. And I've seen that where people will trace me. It's like you can actually follow it, where if you superimpose them on each other and take down the opacity, you can see where they like legit traced me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I think that cosplay art falls under the same category as any art. It would be like if someone took something of yours and traced it and called it theirs and then sold
Right.
it. Like, talk to me, don't sell it. If you want to do something for sale, that's, usually it's okay, unless I don't like you because you're a butthole. But
Well,
if
there's
you're
always that.
always that. But if you're a pretty cool person or whatever, I'm very open about that sort of thing. Crediting is the most important. I want you to credit your cosplayers. I mean, it's really great to be able to see a cosplayer and use that and be like, hey, I'm going to draw this. But please, please, please credit your cosplayers.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's gone so fast. You just whipped that out. Good job.
Well, thank you very much. It happens when you got a little bit of prep work. Like I said, you gave me a lot of good reference. So I was just like, man, all right, I didn't know kind of exactly what I wanted to do. So I just wanted to start messing with some stuff and um, got the two that we came up with. So
No, this is very exciting to watch this being done. Yeah. That's right.
you got the power.
So does anyone else have any questions? Do you have any questions?
Let me see here. Actually, I have tons. So, now obviously the character is based off of you to some form or degree. Are we saying it's just based off of you as look, or do you have some of your personality traits in there? Are you bringing any experience from your life to this character, or is this just a style that she just looks like something?
So I took her from cosplayers who are mean to my fans.
Okay.
Like, if you notice, she is not a nice person. People are like, oh, you're so cute. You're Fire Bitch. No, I'm not Fire Bitch. Fire Bitch is a terrible person. And I took her personality from, and of course, I obviously exaggerated it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I took her from people that I've seen online, cosplay models, SWs, things like that, who will be like, oh my God, this guy's such a creeper. Look what he did. And then they'll post, a screenshot of what he said. And it's like, he's not a creeper. He's autistic. Like, have some compassion. Like, there are things that people don't recognize. So I try to keep things in perspective and give people the benefit of the doubt. And so this character is definitely not like that. She's just mean. And that's kind of where I wanted to go because it was funnier that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I took her from cosplayers and models and stuff that I see online and how they are not nice to fans. So no, she's not. I cosplayed her, but if you look at a lot of the art, like the Dennis Willman looks just like me. A
Uh-huh.
lot of Alfred's pieces don't look like me. And as it progresses, they will, start to develop. She'll start to develop on her own.
Okay, okay.
So, but I kind of can base her a little bit on me. Like, one of the big things is I want to make sure her costume is very workable. I want to make sure that I can make this, I can wear this, I can wear this a lot. It's one thing to have a costume you wear every once in a while, but this is something that I have to wear often. So I have to take that into consideration. Oh, and don't forget, she does have a belt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for reminding me because I did forget.
That's okay. And a lot of people will draw her with a buckle, but it's actually made with no buckle.
Actually, I noticed that. I saw like in the book she didn't have any buckle anywhere.
Right. And because, well, we were trying to figure it out. And originally we were talking maybe she's going to have a seat belt,
Okay.
and we kind of fiddled with that and we fiddled with different things. And then we just decided, she's not going to have a buckle. Why not? So, and whenever you'd like, I have some art from issue 2 that's going to be launching in August.
Oh yeah, we can actually get into some of that because I'm just doing some finishing touches on this. So you can pop your screen up and I'll let you share it.
All right.
Look at you. You're getting me together here. I'm forgetting stuff that we said we were going to do.
You know what? You're doing what you're doing. You're drawing. So I get it. I understand. Okay, so I'm up whenever you are ready.
All right, let me pull this down for a second. All right, go ahead. You said you're showing us a couple preview images.
Yes. So this one is Anastasia Still Smoking, and I don't remember who drew it. So that will be up there when that comes about. So you can see the big guy behind her. His name is Ogre. He is an Ogre, and he is a big, like, ogre type monster, and those are the bad guys. So you got this little girl here fighting him and his people. So this is a piece that Alfred Trujillo painted. This was all him. And you can see she's
Okay.
got, the fire and the vortex and some of that fun stuff going on. This is Shikari, and this is a new one. And this is actually going to be a part of a 3-piece set where she's also in a bathing suit, and there's a nude of this
Okay.
piece as well. So that's really exciting. This is CB Zane, and you can see this is actually a homage to.
Army of Darkness.
Yes, thank you. I was like, where is my brain right now? But yes, it's Army of Darkness.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
so
Love it.
this little alien that's with her, her name is Taco.
Okay.
And you caught that, right? In the book about how she's just like, I'm just gonna call you Taco.
Yeah.
So, because she doesn't care. She's got a lot of like Stan Smith characteristics from American Dad.
Oh, right. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
She doesn't really care what your name is. She's gonna call you whatever she wants. Okay, so we've got that one, and that's it. This is one that Dennis Willman did, and you can tell he made this one look like me, and that's from issue 1.
I'm really digging that fire in that one.
Yeah, he did a really great job. So, and that's all I have available to show you guys right now. The cell phone is very important because she is a social media diva, so she's always, got her phone. And these little guys down there, they're going to come into play. You guys are going to see what's up with those guys in issue 2. So that's super exciting. And there you go.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
You can see there's a wig behind me and a dress behind me. That is my Jessica Rabbit. That's my next cosplay that I'm finishing up. So that's going to be the next one that's going to go out. I can show you. This is one of the cosplay covers that I did for issue 1. And show you some of these guys. This one, I'll have to censor it a little bit. This is Mike DeBalfo. And this one is called School of Hard Knockers. And that was because of the idea is that she had done an adult movie. This character had done an adult movie. So that was that. Oh, this one's cool. So this is something, I always do neat, fun things. And let me make sure it's censored. So this is actually a PVC cover. So you can see when you open it, that's what you get. It's kind of a free the nipple cover. So
you're doing a lot of creative things with your books to make these things collectible and, you know,
absolutely.
appeal to people.
Oh, yeah. We got Steph Wilson. Find a not so, let's see if I'll turn my light down a little bit so you can see Steph Wilson. This is a Color Me cover. It's black and white, so it's harder to see. But these are all done on Strathmore, so you can color them yourself or have a colorist do it. I also did that with the DeBalfo. And so this is super cool. So for Confessions, we have, this is a holofoil. This is a spot foil that we did. And this is the main cover. And let me show you, what else do I have? I have so many. Oh, so we did this for Fire Bitch as well. So if you are a collector of the Spider-Man 300s, you know, we do have that as well. And one of the things that we did, and I don't seem to have it on me, but we did do a Spider-Man 300 in cosplay. So this one was drawn by Billy Tucci and inked by Alfred and colored by me. And he had drawn me years ago for my birthday. And so we talked to him about using that piece as a cover for this. And then we also have it where you can color it yourself. And we have a jeweled edition. These are actually Swarovski crystals.
Okay.
So we just got a lot going on. We have so many different collectible covers. We've got like connecting covers.
So you're out here with the marketing, basically.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Right. Like I said, we have a so many different. What was I saying? The Spider-Man 300. I do have that.
I really like that one.
That one's great because it's the Fire Bitch, but having it for Confessions, I really wanted to do that, and I can't find. I don't know if I have a copy, but here's the Daphne and Velma covers.
Okay.
And then, so this was fun. Isn't that cool? This is a whole bunch of different cosplays of mine.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, we just got tons of different things going on. I mean, definitely take a look at the crowdfunding because we just have so much going on.
John Scooter Robinson, one of my buddies, he's really digging what you got. He's saying your Kickstarter is going to go through the roof.
He also asks nude. Okay, so I don't know if any are left, but what we did is we made a goal that if we hit $50,000, we would offer a nude cover.
Okay.
And we did hit that, but it was limited. So I don't know if there's any left. I do have the topless cover that is similar to the one that I showed you with the Fire Bitch with the acetate.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, you have to pull open the plastic sleeve. And I just did that because what the hell, why not? So it's something similar to this, but it's cosplay.
I think your ideas and the way that you're trying to arrange these covers to make them collector items and to appeal to different people, I think they're very smart. I think they work, and obviously, it's getting you out here. It's getting you the money you need to make these products. Thanks, Jay, man. I appreciate that. That's why I try to force myself to draw more females because I want them to look better. I think they need improvement, and I want to work on that very much so.
I gotta
Um,
say though that the piece you're working on, like that angle was, when that is just incredible.
Thank you very
And
much.
I appreciate that you went, you know, you thought outside the box, you know? Oh, right on. This is great. This is so cool. It's like, man, you draw fast.
Well, I am getting faster from being on this show. The job is to get it done. We shoot for an hour and a half, if it's warranted or whatnot. But yeah, so but this is a fun piece. Like I did want to do something different from for you. I wanted to also do something that was right up your alley, but I figured that this invoked the sexuality and still the powerhouse that this woman is.
It really does. I mean, you really hit it. So that's just wonderful. That's super exciting. Now you do
Um,
sketch cards, right?
yes, I do sketch cards for Marvel Upper Deck. I just finished a set of 50, and I got two more sets coming to me in the mail in a couple days.
You sketch card artists. I know some of you, and you guys work so hard and do so much. People don't really realize how much sketch card artists put out there, especially because you're drawing on this big.
Yeah, yeah.
It's when someone's drawing this big, it's very different, but you got to put all that detail and color and all this into these small pieces, and you guys don't get enough credit. So more power to you. Keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate that.
We really try to push our campaign super hard. So with the Fire Bitch campaign, I had a patch that was part of the stretch goals. We had 12 collector's cards, 8 sketch cards, and 4 holofoil cosplay cards.
Oh, wow.
We did badges and lanyards, and one of the funniest things that we did, and mine is just used to death, but this pop socket. So everyone got a pop socket, but a lot of people didn't know what they are. Let me see if I can. Now getting it closer doesn't help. So you can see it's our little fire guy.
The fire guy from the beginning.
Yeah, and it's all red. Mine's just been here forever because mine was the original prototype. So mine's been here for ages. But a lot of people didn't know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we were looking at getting some of those for our Kickstarter or whatnot because now everybody has them now. They're everywhere or whatnot.
I still had to explain to some people what they were because people were like, "Oh, it's a poker chip." No, it's a pop socket. And
pop socket.
Yeah, so let me know if you're looking for them. I'll hook you up with good pricing.
I appreciate that. All right, so I just put her links in the comments on our Facebook page and on our Twitch account, where you can go buy the books, Confessions of a Cosplay Diva, and get Fire Bitch as well. Both those links are popped up right there. Go support this woman. This is a hard-working woman out here. She's out here with books, cosplay, running for Senate, doing all types of good things, coloring comics, out at conventions. So let's show her some support. Let's show her some love. Go check out her stuff. This image I will be emailing to you so you can have this and do whatever you want with it or whatnot. Tell everybody where they can find you or follow you before we go.
You can find me as AZ Power Girl everywhere on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I've got an AZ Power Girl Cara Nicole fan club group that you can join where you can put up all the things that you love and talk about your own projects as well and share your own art and convention photos and all those fun things. You can find me on YouTube at the AZ Power Girl. I'm also on Twitch at AZ Power Girl. So definitely find me everywhere as AZ Power Girl. I'm super easy to get a hold of. Message me, email me, azpowergirl@gmail.com. Say hi. I always love meeting new people. So that's it.
Awesome, awesome. I want to thank Kara so much for being on the show and bringing her character and herself here, letting us play in her world for a little bit. Really appreciate that very much. So, be sure to give her a follow. I am on Twitch and the Facebook and all those things. So for a lot of my stuff, you can find me as Most Epic Art on Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and not Facebook yet. I'm still waiting for them to approve my page to change the name of my page. I need their approval for it, but that's what I'm waiting for. But be sure to check out our website, shortfusemediagroup.com. That's where all my comic books are sold at, and about 20 to 25 other comic books. If you buy the actual physical books, you get the digital copies of those books for free, and we have a large library of comic books, probably something right up your alley. And let me see here. And here's that link for her one last time to get your copies of Fire Bitch. Make sure you go check that out and see what she's all about. Follow her, ask her questions, hit her up on Twitter, Instagram, and all that stuff. As you can see, she is a vault of information and experience here. So hit her up. Let me see, last two comments. And we are about to close out here. Oh, wait. Oh, two more comments here. Want to become famous? Oh, you just hit me up with your little promo bit, man. I'll talk to you later, buddy. I'm gonna have to delete those. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. And I will be back very shortly, like 8 o'clock. I'll have Unlikely Hero Studios in the building with me, celebrating their successful Kickstarter for The Surgeon. And I heard we're gonna have some stunt with a sword and a champagne bottle being spent open somehow, some way by the writer of the book. So be sure to check out all the danger here on the next episode of Chat and Draw. Thank you, everybody.